Hi, how are you? And welcome back. It's nice to have you back. This week we've got a lot going on in the skies. There's a lot of movement and there's a lot of changes. And that's really, really nice. And I personally am looking forward to quite a few of them. So let's see what we've got. We've got Mercury enters Aries, and she's going to be with the Sun just for a couple of days because the Sun is going to exit Aries soon and move into Taurus. But that's really nice because it's going forward, and the focus of Mercury in Aries is at last we're going to move from that musing, and some people thought it was indecision, but we've been spending a lot of time thinking about things and not necessarily being able to make decisions to move forward. That's going to all come to an end when Mercury moves into Aries, because Aries is very direct. It's a planet, or a sign, astrology sign, it's not a planet. It's an astrology sign of action, and that's really, really great. So I can't wait for that, and we're going to have a couple of days with Sun and Aries together before the Sun moves into Taurus. So this is a nice place for us to get going, and I think that's really, really good. Forgive me, I'm just a bit itchy. On the 19th, we get our full moon in April, and this is really an important full moon. But also, I think it sits very nice with Mercury entering Aries, because what starts to happen on that time is that with this full moon, we start to highlight and finish out that last lot of deep retrospection that we started with those supermoons way back in January. So remember, we had supermoons January, February, March. Not only were they supermoons, but they were also eclipse moons, and they're also all at 0 degrees. And then we had another one, even though it wasn't a supermoon, in April, and that was also at 0 degrees. Now, this full moon is not the new moons. The full moons is on the 29 degrees, so it's at the end, which is just wonderful. So we start to close out all of that musing and introspection and releasing that we've been doing, and that's very, very, very nice thing to be happening. So we should start to feel that easing up a little bit, because it has been quite a transition for some of us. When we're doing that, it's really, really a nice time. We're going to be able to just breathe a little more, and things should feel like they're a little bit easier, and that's quite good. Now, the Sun in Aries will be in opposition to the Moon, because the Moon's going to be in Libra, not because it's in Libra, but the Sun in Aries will be opposition to the Moon in Libra. So Aries is a little bit about self, Libra is a little bit about balance. That's the two concepts. So what we're going to have the focus for that full moon is going to be looking at us as independent beings, and our independence within partnerships. So a lot of what's happening now is we're getting rid of that deep releasing that's been going on, and now we're looking at building to going forward, which is terrific. And it's asking us to start with having a think about us as independent beings, but independent beings in relationships, and how that's being shown up, which is absolutely fabulous. So that's a nice piece of reflection for us. And we've been talking about true values underneath, reflecting what's going on at the surface. So this is an opportunity to see how that works in terms of our independence, and how that's being demonstrated in partnerships and relationships. So that's interesting. On the 20th of April, so this is all really happening, bam, 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 very quickly. So on the 20th of April, the Sun is heading to an alignment with Uranus in Taurus. And this is just before the Sun moves into Taurus. And that's really very nice, because remember, Taurus is the one of unexpected, and nothing we thought was how it is. That's all now beginning to change, because we've got the Taurus. And so what you can expect is to get really great clarity about any issues or any problems, or more importantly, great clarity about how you are in terms of your independence in relationships. So it's going to be highlighted, and then we're going to get really great clarity, and then with great clarity we can move forward and do something about it. And that's the beauty of these things being highlighted. It's all about helping us to grow. And by highlighting something, I mean, you're going to get an insight, and that's going to come to you about, oh yeah, when I'm with people, this is kind of what I do, and I don't know that I like that. So maybe you've been sacrificing too much of yourself, or maybe you've been finding too hard for yourself, or maybe you're in relationships that aren't respecting you. So just be thinking about that. Okay, so that's very, very nice. 20th of April, see, I told you it was busy. Venus enters Aries with the Sun and Mercury just for that one day. And what's nice about that, again, because Venus is about our values and expanding and growing, what makes us feel valued. So that's also going to be really highlighted. So it's going to be quite a day, the 19th and the 20th in particular. So it's going to be a great day of being given a lot of insights about who we are, how we value self, how we value our independence, and how we value ourselves in relationships. So that's really, really nice. The other nice thing about Venus moving into Aries is very much about self. It's very active. It's a very proactive, publicly proactive zodiac sign. So what we could be in Aries with Venus going in there is we're also going to get ideas about what we desire, and we're going to want to go for that. So we're going to get insight into what we value and what we desire, and we're so going to want to go for that. And I'm finding myself right there, right now. I've got this little thing at the back of my mind, and I just really want to go for it. So I'm trying to temper that at the moment, but I could tell you I really want to go for it. So that's what's happening. And the reason I'm trying to temper it is I'm just trying to see whether it's just this impulse or whether it's got more gravitas than just impulse. So we'll see, or more gravity, more substance. So we could be coming quite blunt about that, and it's going to be a very seductive time, but also a very forthright time about what we want and what we desire. And that's going to be pushed along nicely with Mercury going direct and moving. Okay. So that's very nice. Now, the Sun is going to move into Taurus, and that's also going to happen on the evening of the 20th, the 21st. And so what's going to happen is the Sun is then going to join Uranus. Now, we said we had that opposition, and we had that alignment with Uranus, so it's going to be highlighted. And that's going to continue through, not in opposition, it's working well. So there's going to be a lot of things coming from Uranus, and the focus is going to be shifting from what's happening around us to ourselves in our physical state. So that's also very, very nice, because remember, Uranus is all about massive change or quick change and forcing us to face the truth. Forgive the dogs next door. Someone's just walked past and they've started up. Bear with me. And then, so what's happening with the Sun joining Uranus in Taurus is that those unexpected, remember the Sun is ourselves, so those unexpected changes can be about who we are as an individual. And I think that also fits very nicely. At the same time that Venus will move into her new home of Aries, which is a bit blunt, she will be conjunct, joining with and aligning with Chiron. So they'll be highlighting each other. And remember, Chiron is all about our values, and she's also a healer and a teacher. Venus is all about love and expansion. So we can expect in those 2 days, they expect some healing, expect some growth, expect some expansion, and expect some aha moments. So what you can see coming up in the next 5-6 days is a lot. So this is a good time to have a bit of self-care. It's a good time to keep notes and records about stuff that comes to you, and keep your eye out for messages. I've been getting double numbers like you wouldn't believe. And that's always been a message for me that there's some changes happening. So I, for one, I'm looking forward to some action, because I feel like I've been working on myself, but I've been working on things underneath the surface, and now I really want to start working on things above the surface and implementing those changes that I want to see about me in my life, in my work. So there's going to be quite a lot. There's going to be some finishing up with the full moon on 29 degrees, which is lovely. There's going to be a lot of focus on us. It's going to be still focusing on our relationships, but very much focused on us and how we are, as independent beings, working within those relationships. And are those relationships working and helping us to be independent? Because we do need to be independent. We are individuals. Being independent doesn't mean you don't work with other people or you don't have dependencies with other people. That's life and partnerships and relationships. But we need to stand out as individuals within those relationships. And that's what the focus is all about. We're going to get a big help with Venus, lots of love, lots of healing, and that should be very nice. Mercury is going forward and is getting into action planet. So the next couple of months should see our physical plans start to take shape, and we should start to get great clarity. And I think that clarity is going to come quickly and come as an aha moment. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll leave the details below if you want to get in contact with me for a reading. Really, really happy to do that. And have a lovely, lovely time. All right, goodbye and see you soon. Bye-bye.